Well, hello, everybody. It is noon, and if you are here on campus or you have your cell phone handy, then you just got the UTD emergency alert test. Always comes blaring through here in my office. I always feel like there's a big barge outside my window. So I'm Monica Powell. I'm the Senior Associate Dean here in the Gendall School and the Grad Dean. And thank you for joining our town hall. This is the first town hall for all graduate students for the academic year 2021, and we are so excited. When I look outside of the Dean's Suite, or I walk downstairs in the building, or I walk out into the parking lot, it gives me great joy to see so many students everywhere. I've been stopped by many of you. I hope that if you see me around in the building, you can find me underneath my giant mask, that you'll stop and say hello. So we hope the semester is starting out well, and we want to take time to answer any questions that you have today. So don't hesitate to put those into the chat. I'm going to be joined in a little bit by our Assistant Dean for Master's Studies, Dr. David Widdifield. He'll join me in a bit. But in the meantime, why don't I start off with some wonderful top 10 important reminders for graduate students for this fall. I want to remind all of you, please, and if you haven't yet done it, print out a copy of the academic calendar so that you have a chance to have all these dates kind of handy. And if you were looking at the academic calendar, you would also know that we are off on Monday. The campus will be open, but there are no classes on Monday. That's different from university to university. So you may have friends out there that don't realize that may have class on Labor Day, but you guys do not have class on Monday. But please be mindful of this. Please be mindful of last day of class, when final exams are due. Of course, we've already passed the drop add dates for this semester. But again, this calendar is published for every single semester. The dates change. So please print it out and have it handy. It'll keep you from falling into a bad place by missing some important deadline. The other thing I want to remind students of right now, and I think this is really important, I hope by now we're into the second week of class, that you have taken time to really fully read your syllabi for every class and understanding the deliverables, how the grade's going to be calculated. But if even in the second week of class you're feeling some degree of anxiety or you're nervous about the course content, I want to encourage all of you, please, reach out to your faculty, reach out to the teaching assistants, reach out to your peers that are in the class as well. Because I think one of the things that graduate students tend to hesitate on is not reaching out soon enough when they find themselves in a really difficult place. So I really encourage you not to wait. A professor is not going to think that you're stupid because you're taking time to ask questions that you are afraid are elementary. No question is elementary. No question is stupid. So please use these early weeks of the semester before you have some big deliverables like a test, a midterm, a paper, a project, because you don't want to get behind. Now, it's the second week of class, and it is a great time for you to be thinking about things also outside of class. And if you haven't been to the JSOM website, and Norma's going to pull it up for in a second, there are 80 different student organizations that just alone belong to the Gendall School. So you are able to go to a place on our website, on our Gendall School website, and Norma's sharing that, where you can actually look at all of those organizations. So there it is right there. And if you push on it, now scroll down, you can choose by category. That drop down box up there, you can choose by category. And you can come up with all the ones that are based on your academic discipline. But every single student, whether you're fully employed, whether you are full-time or part-time or whatever, students should really take advantage of these. Almost all of our student organizations have an association to helping students fulfill their career objectives. So you can see that you're able to figure out membership, who's in charge, who to send an email to. If there's a website, it's there. So please take advantage of doing that, because these particular organizations are really good at bringing employers in and giving you opportunities to connect and to network. They also oftentimes host all kinds of great competition events, oftentimes sponsored by employers, and it's great. Now, I've got a little bit of preference here because I'm the faculty advisor for the Dean's Council. Great student organization that supports the building the reputation of the school, which I know all of you value. So if you've been here for a semester, you've completed 9 credit hours, then you are eligible to apply, and I would love to have you come and apply for the Dean's Council. Our applications have actually been a little bit low this semester, so we'd like to encourage folks to join. It's just a great organization. I'm sure that if you are a new student, you've heard about the annual ALLY Awards that we hold every spring. It's kind of like the school's Academy Awards celebration. We do the ALLYs every spring. The ALLYs are run by the Dean's Council, and we give out all these great awards that you see on the screen there. And it's the most fun celebration. It's a tradition that everybody looks forward to every year, and that's one of the things that the council runs and does. So please join any student organization, including the Dean's Council as an option. But get out there and do that now, because so many of these are accepting members now, and they are getting ready to promote the events that they're going to do. So you don't want to miss out on those opportunities. To remember, begin with the end in mind. Start early on figuring out what you want to do and who you want to work for. Student organizations can help you do that. Another thing that I just wanted to point out to everybody who might be a current student and one that is expecting to graduate at the end of the semester, the graduation application has been extended to September the 9th. So if you're planning to graduate in fall of 2021, you need to go and fill out your graduation application, because if you miss it, then you have to appeal and then you have to pay a fee. So you don't want to miss it. What are some of the other things I want all students to be mindful of, especially after 18 months of being in a pandemic when we really were not fully on campus? You know, it kind of takes a little bit of time to get back into being present with other people and feeling comfortable in groups of people. And you got to remember that the people that you're hanging around with, whether they're in your class or they're in the hall or they're in the dining room or they're in your apartment, everybody is adjusting to being back in the saddle in a different way. So please, let's continue to do the great job we're doing of being respectful of people that are choosing to wear masks, encouraging people to wear masks. In the HR forum that the university held this morning, they were saying that our test positive rates at the university are less than 0.05%. It's really amazing. That's less than 0.5%. And that shows that students are really being careful and being safe, and I applaud you guys on doing that. But also remember just to give people some space. And I also just want to remind you that when you're back, invest in getting to know your program director and your academic support person. So if you're in the analytics flex program, of course, that's Gaurav Shekhar and Sivi Leventhal. Those are the 2 key people that you're going to get emails from and you want to get to know. The other people that you should also get to know are just each other. I think that while technology is great, you know, the cell phone that we all spend so much time that lights up in our face every time we blink, we tend to almost have most of our relationships on the phone and on the technology. We're texting, we're doing all of this stuff. And I think it's made students a little less comfortable having relationships face to face. But folks, let me tell you from somebody who's a whole heck of a lot older than you are, that now is the time for you to make lifelong friends. So don't get so bookish that you don't take time to have lunch with somebody, that you don't take time to listen to somebody's idea about joining a student organization, that quite frankly, you don't actually introduce yourself to the people that you sit beside in class. You know, we have a tradition here at the Jindal School where people meet and greet each other. That's part of our culture. It's part of the great accepting of this wonderful diversity that we have among students. But students sometimes get so focused, because we attract really smart students, they get so focused that they just forget to get out there and make friends, you guys. You know, someday you'll get old like me, and it won't be so easy. It'll just be the people that you work with. Poor people that I work with, is like, oh my gosh, you know, I got to work for this woman. I also got to be her friend. But you guys have all this time in the world to make these great friends, and graduate school tends to be the last time you can do that before you have children of your own, because then all of your friends will be the parents of your kids' best friends. So that's a whole nother matter. So also, you know, we have a whole lot of students who've come from around the world to be here. And I just want to acknowledge those of you that might be listening today that might be a little bit homesick. Homesick is completely natural and you can expect it. But the more that you get busy, the more that you're going to be happy and the more that it's going to make your family feel better. Because let me tell you, as a mama, I know when my kids are unhappy, and your mama and papa are going to know if you are feeling homesick. They're going to hear it in your voice, even though you're trying to disguise it. So making friends, getting involved, getting a routine is going to help you alleviate some of those homesickness feelings. But you know what? You guys have some great tools, WhatsApp and FaceTime, where you can actually see your families in ways that I certainly couldn't do 40 years ago when I was in college. So be sure to do that. The other thing I just want to remind students of before we get to your questions, and I see David has also joined us. I just want to remind all of you that we are going to send you a lot of email. And I strongly encourage all of you, when you are studying, when you are in class, when you are working on a project, when you are studying for an exam, turn off your email notifications, because I know that many of you would like us to stop sending you email. That's not going to happen, because as soon as we stop, then we'll get blamed for people missing the extension of the graduation application. And we don't want students to have to pay fees for various deadlines that they might miss. So please just turn it on silent. You always got that delete key. But we're going to keep on sending you emails. I've gotten several emails from students saying, oh, come on, stop this spam. It's not spam. If that information is relevant to one person, that was a message well sent. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. So David, how are you today? Are you there, David?
Yeah, I am. And I'm not, am I live?
You are live.
Oh, okay. You guys can hear. Okay, didn't see the red box. So no, I'm doing good. It's been, as Dean Powell was saying, it's been a fun semester, a busy semester. I was involved in several meetings, which puts me a little bit behind. But no, I'm doing good.
Well, that's great, David.
It's all going well.
I feel like this semester, because we are back. I mean, we are on campus. The parking lot is full. I have to actually get on the right side of the hallway when I walk down the middle of it, because there are people in the hall, a lot of people who, by the way, if you have walked with me in the hall and you're coming at me, I've been in this building alone a long time. And so if I am hogging the entire hallway, just ask me to move over. I'm having a little bit of, I don't know, obstacle challenges and kind of running into people. I'll work on getting on the right side of the hallway. But it's true. I feel like we've been pulled back in a bungee cord and just shot into the fall, because it has been insanely busy and wonderfully exciting. I just love having our students back on campus. I can't always see your smiles because some of those smiles are under masks, but I can see the light in your eyes, and it makes me really happy to see students back on campus. So Norma, I'm wondering if we got some questions in the chat. Do we have any students with questions?
We do. We have a couple questions about student organizations, and then it's some advice questions. So let me go ahead and start with this one. For JSOM graduate students that are virtual based and not in the Dallas area, what is your advice, or what is the advice you would provide to advance our degree and career? I know the Career Center is a great resource that they plan to utilize, but outside of that, is there any other suggestions or resources you would recommend that we utilize?
Wow, that is a really great question. So if you are a fully online student and you're finishing your degree, certainly using the resources that we have here are useful wherever you are, from the resources on the career management website to the job postings. Because one of the things that students don't know is that all of the jobs that are posted through a platform called Handshake. The really cool thing about Handshake is that they have marketed it to employers. So when an employer posts a position, if 100 universities all have Handshake, that one job goes out to all of those universities. So the really good thing is, if you're looking at Handshake, you may assume that that's just a Dallas-Fort Worth job, but that could be a job in San Francisco or Chicago or New York or Boston. So you can still use the job postings as a viable resource. But if you are in Chicago or LA or the Bay Area, you better be out there doing as much networking as you can. The other thing that you should do is get on Gendal Connect and identify alumni that might be in the city where you are and try to connect with them. Now, if you're a student in the ITM program and you're attending virtually, wherever you might be, you should reach out to Mark Thuin and Donna Nix and say, hey, I am currently working in Boston. Can you tell me of some former students that I might connect with that you might know are in Boston? So there are all kinds of things that you can do like that, along with joining your local professional associations and getting involved. Now, I will also tell you that when I was a young whippersnapper, and I was once, you know, and I was looking to grow my career and I wasn't in a highly populated city, I would go to the closest populated city and I would attend alumni events, not only for my own school, but I would go to other schools' alumni events. And I was never stopped, but I would meet great people that went to, Emory University, or they would have gone to the University of Georgia, or they went to the University of Virginia. So get a little bit creative. The last recommendation I have for you would be get out on LinkedIn. You can sort on LinkedIn by university as a factor. You can find all kinds of alums on LinkedIn and alums that might be where you are. Reach out to them, send them you only have 134 characters to work on when you send them a message, but you can say, current student in MSITM in Boston, want to connect with a great alum. Can we chat? You can make a really short message. I have never known an alum to say no, ever. So those are some suggestions, Norma, for that individual.
Thank you. The next question is, if you are an online-only graduate student, are there any organizations you can be involved with that are virtual-based?
So most of our student organizations during the pandemic, everything was virtual-based. And I think that those organizations really benefited because they were able to bring employers in to participate in those events without the employer having to drive across the Metroplex and park their car. I suspect that all of our student organizations, for the most part, are going to be conducting business going forward virtually as well. So they will have virtual members and they will have present members. So don't think that just because they're listed and they appear to be all in person that they are. The pandemic has kind of changed everything. I'll tell you, the Dean's Council, our first meeting this fall is going to be virtual. And we're going to continue to take advantage of all the virtual power that we get because we're able to have students who might be doing internships in Chicago on the Dean's Council doing things for the Dean's Council. So organizations aren't limited to where you are. Reach out to that faculty advisor and ask them.
So this question is very similar. Can I join organizations even if I am not physically in Dallas yet? They won't be at UTD until the end of this month.
Yeah, absolutely. Join those organizations, get involved now. They would love to have you on board.
Another student org question. This one asks how to join student clubs and who should we contact? I did go ahead and put the link to that student org page into the chat so that way they can have that.
Perfect, because if you just contact that faculty advisor or maybe choose to go to the website, you'll find the membership chair or the officers, and you just reach out to them and say, hey, I want to join your organization. Normally, they would have tables downstairs in the hallway where they're doing membership this week, but we still have a few COVID restrictions, so you might see a few down there, but not very many.
If I may, I'm going to go ahead and pitch this to Dr. Widdifield. He mentioned a couple that he knows of, student organizations that are virtual and live. I was hoping maybe you could tell our students that are listening about that. Oh, you are on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sure. So there's a couple organizations on the supply chain side that I work with very closely. One is the Association for Supply Chain Management, ASCM. The other one is Informs. Both of them are planning both virtual and live events. They love to have members join them both in person or virtual. And just the ASCM side, we've had 31 people attend the webinar on Monday. Prospective students. So yeah, the events are going on out there. And as Dean Powell said, and Norma, the student organization faculty advisor can get you in there, but oftentimes you guys are sitting in class with the student officers. So, you know, back to what Dean Powell was saying about getting to know each other, that's a great way to get to know who are those student officers in those organizations.
Perfect. Thank you. Dr. Powell, I have another question about student organizations.
Oh, my favorite topic.
I'm so glad that we have this much interest. I think it's great for our students to be engaged. This one says, how many student organizations do you recommend that we join so that we can maintain a proper balance? I think that's a great question.
I love that question. And that's a smart question to ask yourself. You know, I think that you can be a member of as many as 4 or 5 organizations where you're just attending events. But I think you want to limit yourself in terms of the number of organizations for which you have a leadership role. So if you are in a couple of organizations where you might have a leadership role, you're the vice president of membership, or you're the events manager, or you handle logistics, I would keep that to a limit. So maybe a couple. But you could be a member of as many as 5, as long as you are not taking away from what it takes to be in class. Generally speaking, and this is a rule of thumb, for every 1 hour that you are in class, you should be spending around 2 to 2.5 hours outside of class. So for a 3 credit hour class that you're in a week, which is 3 credit hours, you should be multiplying that by the appropriate number. And that's how many hours you should be studying. So think about how much time you need to sleep. Think about how much time you need to eat. We probably all should occasionally bathe, and those things, you know, entertainment, and then figure out how much time you have left over. You don't want to overextend yourself. Every semester we have 1 or 2 students who overextend themselves, and then they find themselves in grade trouble. So you just want to be careful. And if you do find yourself struggling in a class, and you have overextended yourself, just let them know and back up. Back up, focus on class, and then re-engage when you get it back in line again. Oops, Norma, you're muted.
Now you're on mute.
Sorry about that. This next question is unrelated to JSOM graduate students specifically, but they are wondering if there are spots for the required COVID testing, if they're still available. This person looked at the calendar this morning and they don't have appointments right now.
So that is a great question, and I'm really glad that this student asked the question. So there is no public calendar where you can go and sign up for a shot. Right now, in these first 3 weeks of class, they are emailing you. You will get an email from the university saying that they want you to come and get a test. So at this time, that's what you're doing, because the goal is to get everybody tested in the first 3.5 weeks that we are on campus. Because right now, that's the data that I told you a minute ago. I think the HR form said we've tested 7,000 of our 29,000 students, mostly students. A few faculty and staff are in there, but we were already mostly vaccinated. But we're going to test even our faculty and staff in this 3 weeks. So you just need to wait until you get your email, and then you can go through the testing process. They're really pretty quick. It's over in Residence Hall West, which is way over there on campus. And they get the results back to you generally within 24 hours. But if you want to get a test or you suspect that you might have COVID, please go off campus and get an immediate test. You can register for them on Walgreens, on CVS, Walmart has them. Primacare, the urgent cares. If you think you have COVID, don't wait until you get that email. Go ahead and go out and get that test done. And then report it. report it on the self-report form. On the front page of the UT Dallas website, there's the COVID-19 resources or COVID-19 information button. Click that and you'll be able to go to the self-report form and be able to report that you either have COVID, or also when you do get vaccinated, report that as well.
What is
and
your
by the way, Norma, $125 is what I heard.
Right.
Students are incentivized. They can get that if you get your COVID vaccine and then report it. So, hey, we don't get the $125, but you do. So I'd go get your $125.
What are your best networking tips for someone who is not familiar in the industry that they want to join? Should it be technical or general, or what makes a lasting impression on your opinion? In your opinion, sorry.
Wow. So I'm going to answer that, and then I'm going to flip it to David to kind of enhance the answer. So, you know, networking is good. Networking is about good relationship managing. It means that you have to develop a relationship with the people that you're networking with before those people are going to do something to help you advance your career. So many, many years ago, when LinkedIn first came out, and you guys, you won't believe this, LinkedIn came out in like really starting to go and blow in 2000, 2001. I remember I was one of the early birds out there. Maybe it was before that. No, I think it was about 2000. And what I did early in my career is I would just identify people on LinkedIn that I thought could add real value to my career. And I would send them a LinkedIn Connect message saying, you have a really impressive background. I am so-and-so. I'm looking to learn more about your area of expertise. And people would often respond to that, and they would email me back and said, sure, let me connect with you. And then I would send them an email. I would have looked at their profile, their experience, and then I would send them an email and say, you know, I'm really impressed by what you did at PepsiCo. I see some really good accomplishments when you were there. Would you be willing to talk with me? Or do you go to an industry event where maybe we can meet and you can tell me more about that? And then after I met the person, learned some stuff about it, then I would get news feeds every day that would come from the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post. And when I saw something I thought that person would really like, I would pop them a LinkedIn message and say, hey, I just read this great article. You may find this a very great interest. So then I was giving back to them for them giving me time. And then down the road, when I needed them or I heard about a job, I would say, hey, I heard that there's a job posted in your company. Can you tell me something about it or connect me to somebody? Once you establish the relationship, people are so glad to help you. Networking is not connecting with somebody and then saying, can you help me get a job at your company? That is not networking. So David, what else do you have to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely correct, Dr. Powell. I mean, it is not just going up to somebody and say, hey, can you give me a job? It's not what I call speed dating either. And I tell all my students this. It's not that you meet somebody, grab their business card, and you move on to somebody else. And then you connect with them only if you need a job. There's a number of ways that students can get involved in networking. You know, one of the things I always recommend to our students, our incoming students, is that, you know, you've got a great opportunity here at UTD with all the student organizations bringing in tons of senior people in from the industry. They're willing to network with you. Go to those events, get introduced to them, and then build a relationship with them. LinkedIn, absolutely a great tool. That's a great way to get networking with your professors, with your peers, and leaders even within the organizations. The other way that I talk about networking is also look at the organizations, the professional organizations for your discipline, your major, and start working with them, because oftentimes, and I'm speaking for the ones that I belong to, Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals, Association of Supply Chain Management, we have a ton of networking events for folks like yourself that are starting their career and looking for advice or how to build that. So I always say, yeah, take advantage of those types of opportunities. But yeah, these blind copies out of LinkedIn or the speed dating approach, that doesn't work. And the last one is, like myself, as a faculty member, we have a lot of guest speakers that come in, and those guest speakers want to be in that class, they want to talk to you, take time to introduce yourself to them. And while you may not have time in the class to network with them, you can certainly network with them and get to know them outside of that. And the very last thing I would say from a networking standpoint is you're going to have some opportunities in your programs to become a mentor, a faculty mentor, or a faculty mentee. You're going to be working with that faculty member. You're going to have it aside on the student side who've already been out in the workplace. Those are excellent opportunities to network as well. So this is everything that I tell my students, usually on the first 2 weeks of class.
You know, David, I think those are really great things. I think, remember one thing, that when you're developing a relationship with people, people are by nature egotistical human beings. If you spend time asking them about themselves, they're going to appreciate that. And then the other thing is, if you thank them for taking that time to tell you about themselves or about their experience or about the most difficult project they ever worked on, just the process of saying thank you makes a difference. And I'll tell you a story. I had a couple of great speakers in a class one day, and these two particular students after class stayed behind and thanked those speakers for leaving their jobs to come and talk to the class that day. And both of them made a particular comment about what they had talked about in the class. And then those speakers gave those two students business cards. In the end, one of the two students got an internship from that company's employer because he then sent an email to follow up on what the guy had talked about in class that day. And the employer said, "You asked great questions. I need to forward you on to the person who manages our internship program." And they got an internship. So I think even saying thank you can have a big impact. I hope that answered the question, Norma. We really attacked that question.
It was great. Is it appropriate for students who are not close to graduation to go to the virtual career fair networking events? Are the employers and recruiters there interested in talking to students who might only be a year into their program?
Oh, absolutely. Number one, you need to get a feel for what those experiences are like. Career fairs, in my opinion, and I've been in this industry 35 years, have become more a way that a company brands themselves at a university. And yeah, they collect a lot of resumes, they talk to a lot of people. Most of those conversations are really short. So I think as a new student, it's well worth your time to go and watch, see, get close enough to kind of hear what some of those conversations are about. Watch the employers and how they react to the students they're talking to. Watch the students. Some of them don't do it as well. Some of them are looking down the whole time or looking up or not having great eye contact. Some of the students are talking too soft that the recruiters can't hear them. But yeah, invest your time in doing that. The more information you have about how the dance goes, the better you're going to be able to dance when it's your time. And by the way, if you've got 2 long semesters before you can get an internship, you're going to be applying for those internships by the end of this semester. You're going to start applying for them in January, February, and March. You're not waiting until May to apply for those internships. You start sooner than that. So you need to invest that time now.
Excellent. Well, those are all the questions that we have so far. A lot of great ones. I think it was a lot of great information and content for everybody.
Yeah, and I love that they focused on student organizations and building their career. You guys are really listening with regard to, you know, making the most of your graduate experience and producing dividends at the end of it. You know, Norma, I really
I do have one more question, if I can interrupt.
Question. Yes. Sure.
How do we get to know about career fairs that take place either in person or virtually?
So if you go to the Career Management, well, first of all, the Career Management Center sends out a Friday email to all students, and and it can be a little bit cumbersome, but it generally comes out on Friday, and it comes from Hire JSOM, HIRE JSOM. All of that is going to be promoted there. Now, keep in mind what Dr. Widdifield just said a minute ago. Many of these professional organizations will promote fairs on their own websites. So you need to be familiar with all of the industry association websites because those are going to get promoted there. The university's career center also promotes career fairs and career events. So you want to kind of keep your eye on all of those different balls. So let me throw one thing out, Norma, because I don't know if I've had a chance to really tell the students this. For those of you that are continuing students, you guys have been incredible troopers in a really tough time, and you have set the example for the type of role model students that we want in being just so committed and in it to win it, and landing these great internships that you guys had this last summer and those that you have now. We are really proud of how you rolled up your sleeves and said, the moment's not going to define me. I'm getting after it anyway. So I really want to thank our current students for just setting an amazing example for the students that come behind us. For our brand new students who might be listening today, you know, it's really difficult to think about going to graduate school when you've gone through a global pandemic. And we are so honored that you would choose us to be here, and I don't know, just invest your energy and your time and a really important part of your life to being a part of the great Jindal Schools experience. It really just makes me so happy. I know I've told this story before, and I'm known to repeat myself, but I love at the end of the day on Friday when I walk downstairs, usually Norma's with me, and I'm walking through the atrium area. Well, it's not an atrium area. Well, I guess it's sort of an atrium area in JSOM 2, down there where Jason's Deli used to be, and they're building a new place. And I see that group of students, that eclectic group of students who are playing Mahjong. This group of students has been meeting down there, I don't know, close to a year. Every Friday at 5 o'clock, 5:30, they're there. And they invite a new person, and this Friday they're going to teach me how to play Mahjong, because I stop and I talk to them every week, and I'm just so impressed with the camaraderie that they have in doing this, and I just want all of our new students to reach out and make that friend, find that place that you go, whether it's pizza night with your friends, or whether you go play pool or ping pong, or don't try rollerblading. I tried it and I fell down twice. But whatever it is that you may do, your graduate school experience is defined by what you make it. And if you make it all about books, then it's going to be all about books, and you're going to have a great GPA. But you can have a great GPA if you balance it out with great student organizations, interacting with employers, and making friends. So thanks for choosing us and for being here. It's just really a very exciting time. Really is an exciting time. So Norm, I see we're at 53 minutes. Wow, how does an hour go by this fast? Are there any remaining questions out there?
There was one more. This person said if they want to involve themselves multiculturally, what places or organizations would you recommend?
So we have this great multicultural center on campus. And so that's the first place that I would start. It's called Intercultural Programs. And it's so interesting that you ask that, because they have all kinds of activities, and they send out they have English classes for international students that are hosted by the International Christian Fellowship at UT Dallas. You can, on the university's organizational website, there are all kinds. There are like 300 student organizations, and there are all kinds of multicultural groups and ethnic groups that are out there. So go out there and look at the university's main website and get involved with them, and then go over to the Multicultural Center and introduce yourself, because there is not a shortage of great, unique people to meet here and to get involved with.
And I did go ahead and put the Intercultural Programs website into the chat, and they have a link from the main page about events and programs.
Oh, great. Thank you, Norma.
No problem. Those are all our questions. So
David, what profound and exciting words do you have in conclusion?
I think in conclusions for everybody that's on here with us today is really back to the points we were talking about. Get involved with your classes, get involved with your peers, your faculty members. Start building your career early. If you're a new student, it's not too late. It's not too soon. You want to start doing that. I would also say that one of the things that we do for the supply chain students is that we have scheduled resume sessions that are part of the program. But I know that the Career Management Center has the same thing. Take advantage of those. Get involved in those mock interviews. You're going to have a chance to stand before professionals and interview. Oftentimes, those lead to actual interviews, back to the examples that Dean Powell is using. So I think that those are kind of the biggest things. And lastly, most importantly, is have a lot of fun. I mean, this is an exciting time. We're all back in the classroom together. It's kind of unusual for everyone. We're still trying to get our bearings, but no, have a lot of fun. And yeah, I think that's about everything I can think of.
Yeah, thank you, David. That's really terrific. And I just also want to remind students, graduate students, you're all going to have a situation where you're going to need an answer to a question and you're going to need a response. Do us a favor institutionally. Send the questions that you have about your degree programs or electives, or how do I solve this issue with my faculty member? Reach out to your degree program to do that. If you have a course registration problem, a graduation audit problem, trying to understand what your GPA problem is, that's going to be an advisor question. But if you cannot figure out any other place to get the answer to a question, you can always send an email or get on the chat for the JSOM question desk. And Norma will put that out in the chat as well. And we also have the JSOM Grad Programs email. That's where you saw the promotion about this town hall. You can always send an email there. But whatever you do, don't send 30 people the same problem, because then you've got 30 people responding back, and that's not really an optimized way to get an answer. We will tell you if we're not the person who can help you. Your program director will tell you who to reach out to if they're not the person. Be sure to take all Bursar questions to the Bursar, student affairs to student affairs, so that people can help you quicker. We really want to help your journey be really smooth, and we're really glad to respond. Norma is always shocked at how much email that I get. But I really try very hard to respond to every bit of it each day. And I get hundreds of emails. So I know that everybody else can do that as well. So we want to thank you for coming and spending an hour with us. And Norma, thank you for being our backbones to make all of this happen. And David, thanks for coming to chat with us. You guys have a great semester. We'll do another town hall in October. So be looking for that. Join us. Bring all your questions. If you have ideas on things that you think that we should consider or do, let us know about those too. And again, thanks for joining us at noon on Hump Day. We'll see you guys in the next town hall.